At last, the US Congress agreed on a COVID stimulus bill. However, today futures on the US stock indexes have tumbled 1 or 2% on average. Over the weekend, the UK announced that it had identified a new strain of COVID-19. In light of the news, the US dollar perked up against 6 major currencies, including the Canadian dollar. After months of painstaking talks, US lawmakers have agreed to a new $900 billion coronavirus relief package to businesses and households. The next step on the agenda is the formal vote of congressional leaders to pass the bill. No doubt the stimulus package will be finalized in the nearest days. Oddly enough, judging by the US stocks, investors are not overwhelmed by euphoria. Futures on the US benchmark stock indexes took a hit in light of the news from the UK about a new COVID strain. The Dow Jones tumbled 1.57% to the larger degree than the other stock indicators. The Nasdaq edged down 0.11% and the S&P 500 fell 0.35%. Market participants are alarmed by the news from the UK. The authorities had to impose a strict COVID lockdown. The new strain allegedly spreads 70% quicker than previous variants. A number of countries have already suspended air flights from the UK. Such twists in the pandemic will cast a shadow over the British economy, thus disrupting the UK economic recovery in the long term. Analysts of Intermediate Capital Group said that under the scenario of launching mass vaccination on schedule, the UK economy is expected to be back on track in the second quarter of 2021. In other words, the global community pins hopes of the vaccine, which is supposed to cope with the early variants of COVID-19. Today, the US dollar index rose 0.69% against a basket of 6 rival currencies. It's now trading at 90.62. The greenback is making a correctional climb following the forecast that the weaker US currency will be a catalyst for economic growth of emerging markets in 2021. Besides, the greenback found support from rumors that new Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen was poised to revise a stance towards traditional monetary policy in favor of the strong dollar. The US dollar gained ground against its Canadian counterpart. The USD CAD grew 0.81% to trade at 1.28 to 86. Speaking about the new coronavirus strain discovered in the UK, healthcare authorities have already assured the population of other efficient vaccines, in particular the Russian Sputnik V, which is successful in the struggle against this type of virus. That's all for today. We keep monitoring the financial market situation. Subscribe to our channel and see you tomorrow.